Hello. Today I had a very painful conversation with my therapist. We spoke mainly about the hurts that happened in my past, my childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and they were basically hurts related to loss, especially because I was a very sentimental boy. And I used to get in love with some girls and never be, the love would never be reciprocated, so it was a permanent state of loss. And it repeated, childhood, adolescence, and then in the college, post-graduation, and it created a very uncurable hurt in me. And that's one of the reasons that I became victimized by narcissists and am a target. Easy target. Because I'm still hurt. And my therapist said, well, you need to heal from the hurt. I asked her how. She said, by realizing that you were a child, she was a child, and the girls were not able to respond with in a manner, adequate manner to your feelings. But that's not how it works. I got resentful just by the fact that I was rejected my whole life. And what hurts me more is that I had so many beautiful feelings for these girls, and they responded with abuse and rejection. How do you hurt something like this? So how do you cure? How do you heal from something like this? You just can't let go. And I'm a victim. I'm going to stay a victim because I have no way of healing from my hurts and the hurts that attracted narcs, that created more hurts. They say that money is the root of all of evil in this world, but I don't think so. I think the hurt is the root of all evil, because by being hurt, terrorists are born. Because of the hurt, narcissists are created. And because of the hurt, people who have a healthy beginning of life, they become more and more unhealthy like me, because the hurt destroys you little by little. After my teacher hurt me, I lost the ability to fight. I used to be a stronger fighter. Now I have no hope. Uh, I think narcissists and their victims have something, many things in common. I catch myself asking myself if I was a narcissist many times, and I know that's very common for victims. HSPs, they have, and narcissists, they have very similar hurts. That we don't like criticism. We are easily hurt. It's the same. Narc 2 said she identified with me. But the difference is that the narcissist is already wounded from an early age, and I, because of the narcissist, was wounded after a while. I was an adult, and this wound, it, it is not a wound, a narcissistic, not a narcissistic wound, but it is an embittered wound. So I am bitter now, very, very bitter. Uh, the wound and the trauma, they take control of the person. That's why the narcissist is so out of control. And he tries to control and manipulate everything and everybody because he's so out of control of himself. If you've ever been wounded, you probably know. Well, let's speak for myself. When something triggers my wound and my anger, I start to talk and talk, and I start to argue, and the hurt takes control of me. I am hurting and I say things to defend, and then I start to attack like the narcissist did. I was not like that. I wasn't like that. But now I am. So the hurt and the wound takes control of us. So the narcissist, he's powerless because he's controlled by his wound. So narcissists, they are slaves to their wounds. And victims like me, we become slaves to our wounds after encountering a narcissist. And the wound takes over. I'm afraid to live, I'm afraid to try, I'm in shock. I'm afraid to study again, I'm afraid to find a job, I'm afraid to talk to people, I am afraid of everything, I'm afraid of trying to heal. The hurt is taking over my life, and the bitterness. And there's no way out. One of the people that hurt me most in my life was my math teacher, because she used to humiliate me in front of the whole class, and I have no way to I can't learn math. I can't, and I discovered that this is called dyscalculia. I don't know how you pronounce it. Dyscalculia in Portuguese. And it's just you can't. Your brain is not apt to deal with numbers and sizes and geometry and arithmetics. And the teachers, they attribute that to a lack of your character, because they're abusive assholes, when in fact you're just a victim. Okay, I was always a very good student when I could understand the subject and when the subject interested me, but I was not able to learn math. No, but they think bad of you. They attack you. They say you're lazy. They say you have no future. But they don't think that you don't have the ability to learn math. It's like people don't have ability to read. It's called, there's a name. I can't remember the name now. Inability to read. So is it your fault? Is it because the person is lady or have a fault of character? No way. We don't have anything to do with this inability. Um, uh, Narcs and embittered people like me, victims of narcissists, they become controlled by the hurt. As I was saying, and I am saying this because I am living it, and this particular conversation today just reminded me and showed me of it, this, that I can't heal. I have no ability to recover. Uh, just the same as I have no ability to count or learn math. And then I suffer abuse because of it. You can't heal. You can't heal. Why I can't heal? Because I'm lazy. You can't find a job, a career. Of course, I won't be victimized again by bosses and people superior to me. Do you think I'm gonna give my power to other people now? I'm not gonna let anybody step on me anymore. The good thing about the movie, the book and the movie, The Godfather, is that it can explain us the way hurts are created in the narcissist and on victims like me and uh, and survivors. Okay, I survived. I still call myself a victim because survivors they can't they can move on from some way and try and recover and still keep on fighting. I am I am a victim still. I consider myself a victim because the damages, there are so many damages, things I used to do that I can't do now. Hope that I used to have that I don't have now. I have changed for the worse. That's very sad. Very sad to say. And I can't move on, so I'm a victim. Yeah. But I was talking about The Godfather. I would like to talk to you about the movie, the story first. Because I used to study books and literature, so I like to learn with the characters. And one of the things that Al Pacino says about Marco Corleone character is that he tried to give mysterious characteristic to Michael Corleone. So when Marco Corleone transforms in the movie, you don't know where that came from. And Francis Ford Coppola was very wise in not explaining too much where Michael Corleone comes from. Um, Remind you that Michael Corleone in the beginning of The Godfather, he was a soldier. He didn't want anything to do with his family of mafia guys, until his father is shot. And of course, if your father is shot, you feel hurt, don't you? So he was hurt by that. Um, he was uh, uh, attacked at the hospital by the policeman who was part of the mafia, and obviously he felt hurt and humiliated. So you see how abuse starts to change you and makes you bitter and angrier. And Peter Steele, he was with the band Typo Negative. He wrote something interesting in one of his songs. It says, "Anger turning me into someone I don't know." So you start to lose yourself, and I can't recognize myself anymore. I feel empty. I used to talk with my mom. I can't talk with my mom the way I used to. I don't know why. Well, uh, then he he had to avoid his father, the Corleone guy there, Vito, was going to be killed. So Michael Corleone said, "I'm going to kill him." The Salazzo and the McCluskey was the policeman, and he goes and he kills the Salazzo. But he's still that guy, not very different from the beginning. And then he flees to Italy. There he meets Apollonia. He marries Apollonia Corleone. And there in Italy, Michael Corleone learns that his brother Sonny is shot, and when he tries to run away, Apollonia Corleone is blown up in the car. And then in the movie, suddenly you have no. That's where Francis Ford Coppola was amazing. He doesn't tell you anything else. And then you have another Michael Corleone with a neutral face talking to Kay on the streets, asking her to be his wife. But there you see a dead face in Al Pacino. He doesn't feel anything. You see, he wants to marry her, but you can already see that he's just manipulating Kay to form a family, to establish his power as a Don. Um, and then Michael Corleone kills his enemies, becomes a godfather. Um, he says he's very angry, and in Godfather 2 he goes on to kill his enemies and kills his brother, and in the end of Godfather 2 he's just standing alone in his house with a thoughtful, uh, unhappy face, like this, looking at nothing. Um, but why Michael decided to become a bad guy that he didn't want to be? Because of the hurt. The hurt when Apollonia, his wife, was killed. Obviously you have to infer that that really hurt Michael Corleone, caused his anger, and it changed him. So he was able to come back home angry and kill everybody in his path. Uh, the narcissist, I figure narcissists are the same. They are very hurt, but that hurt was created, was either, they say it's genetic and otherwise. It is also created in infancy. Um, then the narcissist becomes disabled, sociopath, disabled, completely unable to live a full, healthy life because of his hurt. He starts to avoid situations and people, and because he's sensitive to this, sensitive to that, you can't complain with the narcissist. You can't say the narcissist is wrong. Because he attacks you, and you can't do anything with the narcissist because he's so disabled. But with the victims, embittered victims, it becomes the same. You say something to me that hurts me. Uh, the friendship becomes, I start to go away, okay? I just go away. I can't see that in an assertive manner. I don't have energy or the wisdom to see and start to say, oh, maybe the person was in a bad day, blah blah blah. I just feel hurt, and I don't want that to happen again. I have no hope in people. I think people, nobody likes me. It's all to do with depression too. But you see, it is a damage that was created by hurt. The same way that Michael Corleone became a horrible person because he was hurt. Imagine, my friend, losing your wife and losing your brother and having your father almost dying. If you put that, imagine yourself in the place of Michael Corleone, and imagine if Michael Corleone was a real person of this real world. This is hurt. To lose your wife to mafia people, or to terrorists, or to military attacks, or to gangs, urban gangs in the cities. This changes you, and for the worse. And there is no God, there is no religion, there is no treatment for this hurt. The only treatment is if the person has the abilities to look in a more optimistic way to these problems, to the hurts, has more, I guess optimism must be the key, wisdom too. Otherwise, embitterment, uh, non-assertiveness, lack of self-esteem, um, and that this is a perfect combination for another narcissist to come into my life. Still a target. Well, I wanted to talk about hurt and how hard it is. It's not so easy. And hopelessness sets in because there's no cure for this hurt. Narcissists have no cure, and I don't think my bitterness is also going to be cured. See how